Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is our review for Snowfall Season 1, Episode 9, Story of a Scar. So, it's getting interesting. Well, more interesting, because, I already like the show Snowfall. That's why I'm reviewing it, yeah. And so, let's get it started. As you all know, I do it in parts. Starts with either Teddy and Alejandro's story or Lucia and Gustavo's story. Today I think I'm starting with Teddy because his name is first on my little note list, so that's what it is. And of course I ended with Franklin. I do see more people watching this review and more people even commenting like on social media and stuff about the show. So I'm really happy that people are liking the show. Really happy that the show is just, being successful basically. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So, we see for Teddy and Alejandro, Teddy was on the phone with his baby mama talking. And I was like, I don't really care about that. We see Alejandro come in. The last time we saw Alejandro, he was leaving to go to his country to see what happened with the whole, I don't know if it was an explosion or it was attacked, and he was trying to see what really went on. So we do find out that his wife is okay. Her truck was hit and she was burned, but she's fine. But the pipeline was destroyed, so they have no way to make more drugs and stuff like that. So of course Teddy's like, okay, that's crazy. We have to find a new supplier. What we want to do? And Alejandro's like, well, I have a supplier that we can use. And and Teddy's like, who, Escobar? And I'm like, Escobar was around back in this time, so it would be logical to say, that we're going to connect with some Colombians or some Cubans or whichever nationality that Escobar is, they would say his name. It's like, who, Escobar? He controls 90% of the coke, the coke trade or whatever. And Alejandro's like, no, he's too powerful. He would crush us before we even realized it. He was like, we're going to deal with the other 10% of people who deal drugs, in California. And he's like, but, I have to make them alone, and trust me, I'm doing you a favor. We all know that Teddy isn't the most, my hair looks crazy, but whatever. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Teddy's like, he's not the most trusting person. So, it's going to take time for him to trust Alejandro again. We do see the sister of the dead girl, who I now know her name is Victoria. So I'm going to stop calling her the dead girl sister because I wrote down her name this time. Anywho, she comes to see Teddy at his, his place, and she gives him like a gift of like a record or something. And he is like, oh, I can't take this, but he does take it. And she kind of comes to grips saying, I kind of have to get back to my life. I need to just accept the fact that my sister's gone. And not gone as in dead, but gone as in she went somewhere and she don't want to be found. And she out there living her life, and I need to accept that and get back to my own life. So Teddy kind of like, okay, cool or whatever. So the girl leaves. Next we see Teddy, who has followed Alejandro to the docks to meet with the new connect, and he goes and sits like a little restaurant. He's taking pictures from the window of the restaurant, and he does see Alejandro. And Alejandro's meeting with like 2 guys. We see 1 guy walk up and everything. And Teddy's just, of course, taking pictures with his long lens camera. We also see that he seems to be going crazy and hearing shit. Because as he's sitting at the table, he keeps, like, you hear this banging noise. And I'm like, well, this goddamn is people doing construction? And, he keeps hearing it and it keeps getting louder and louder and louder. And then when the waitress walks up, he's like, that doesn't get on your nerves? And she's like, what? I don't hear anything. And the sound kind of tends to die down. So we realize the noise is actually in Teddy's head. Teddy going a little bit crazy. A little bit stir crazy. So yeah, we see that part. Teddy's story again, I can cut these in, I can do these really quick. Next we see that Lucia, Pedro, and Pedro's father, Ramiro, has shown up as the people they're going to buy drugs from, with Teddy and Alejandro. And Teddy's like, if you guys are here for another extension, I'm not for that. I told you guys no more extensions. You're like, no, we're not here for that. We're here to, we're gonna, get more drugs. And he's like, no, where's Gustavo? He's like, well, don't you want to make money? And he's like, well, no, I prefer structure. I prefer things to be routine. When you show up with new people, it's not routine. I don't like that. And then Alejandro's like, well, how much more are you guys trying to get? And he's like, well, we need like 25 keys or whatever. And he was like, and next time we'll double it. So Alejandro is like, I'm trying to fix my shirt because it looks stupid. Alejandro, I'm like, why is it not, whatever. Alejandro is like, let's do business. It's fine. But you can see, no, because then Ramiro says, from now on, my son will be the person you'll be dealing with mostly. And, of course, that differed from the last time when Pedro didn't say much of anything. It was all Lucia talking, but in this particular scene, Lucia's there, but she's not saying anything. And Teddy notices something is weird, because he's looking at Lucia like, what the fuck is going on, But they basically do business, so it's fine. The next scene after that, we see Teddy's in his bed sleeping, and his phone is going off, and it's actually that girl, Sister Victoria, calling him and trying to leave him a message like, hey, I think I have a lead. So, of course, he wakes up, and he's like, what's going on? So, we then see, her and him, and they're at a photographer's studio. And she's like, I was about to go home, and I was going through, my hair looks so fucking stupid. I was going through my sister's stuff, going through her photos, and I remember they said there was a photographer there at that club, Glitter, that night taking pictures. So the people from the club got me in contact with the photographer, and he showed me all these pictures. And what pictures do he have? He has pictures of the dead girl with Alejandro, with the other CIA agent in the club, and you can clearly see their faces. It's like, see, yeah, he does look like exactly how the waitress describes him. See, that's them, and that's your friend too. Isn't this great? He's our lead. You know what I'm saying? He's the answer to all this. And that she's, saying that Teddy just looks like, oh shit. Because he know they can't let the girl ruin everything. So he feels like, well, damn, now she probably has to die too. Because we can't let her ruin this. So it was a realization of him like, damn, she found the goddamn needle in a haystack, and now she knows stuff. And now I have to figure out what I can do with her because she knows too much. So yeah, that's their whole scene. I'll come back to them towards the end. My voice is going out because, again, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I haven't drank any water. I'm tired. But I'm good, though. You know what I'm saying? I got some energy up in this piece. So next we see Lucia. The Lucia Gustavo story. It's kind of short today, I think. Lucia meets up with Gustavo to tell him, that her uncle was taking over the business, basically. And, that Pedro told the uncle. And, of course, Gustavo was upset. But she's like, it could be worse, considering what we did to him. So she's like, I know you're mad because he's taking over, but at least he's not killing me, And he's like, well, what are we going to tell Stumper? And she's like, well, that's the thing, you don't have to tell him anything. And then she slides him an envelope with some money in it. And she's like, this is enough that you can start a whole new life. Just, leave and get away. And he's like, so you want me to run? And she's like, my uncle wants you dead. So I don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? He wants you dead. You have to leave. You have to run. And he's like, you're choosing them? Really? You're choosing Pedro, the pussy Pedro and your uncle? And she's like, they're my family. What do you expect me to do? Which is true. Because, what else can she do? And he's like, look at me. Look at me. And I swear I thought he was going to say, I am the captain now. But he didn't. What he said was, I'm not running. I told you before. I'm not going nowhere. I'm in this for the long haul. He said, we might not have to run. Or I might not have to run. But you need to make a decision in what you really want. Meaning, we can fight for this if you really want it. Because at one point, she did say to him, what, do you want me to run away with you? And we can start a whole new life? And he was like, yeah. He was like, no, we don't have to run. But figure out what you want. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, go ahead, Gustavo. Gustavo, I kept on saying, he's just arrested. What's this whole story? I didn't get it. Gustavo's coming into his own, and Lucia, I think she does care for him in one way or another, and of course he's infatuated with Lucia. So I would like it if Gustavo and Lucia took over and like murdered the uncle and then like beat up the son, and then they kind of ran the whole thing. I would like that. Um, Next we see Gustavo, and he went to see Stumper to let Stumper know, hey, we can't do business anymore. Stumper's like, what the fuck? You know, after one deal, you come to me and say you can't do business anymore. You know what's going on? And he's like, they cutting us out. And he was like, that's what I'm saying. They not just cutting you out, they cutting me out too. And they like, what? That's crazy. They like, what the fuck, man? This is not how we do business. And when he says they're cutting me out too, and I came here, he's like, I came here to be honest with you about what's going on, to let you know your new competition is going to be, her family, this mafia family or whatever. And he, Stumper's like, you're telling me that my competition is the whatever family? And he was like, yeah, yeah. And then Stumper was like, do you know where they be? Do you know where they live? Do you know their people and everything? And then he was like, of course I do. Well, he didn't say S. I threw that part on there myself. So, that scene kind of ends with him having that conversation. Next, we see Romero and Lucia and Pedro back at the stash house. And the girls are cutting up the cocaine. And then Romero says to Lucia, I'm going to bring in someone else to look over the books with you. And she's like, I don't need any help with the books. And he's like, well, no, that's fine. But I just feel like, this is a dangerous business. If something happens to you, I don't want you being the only person who knows about our financial state. Which to me means, so you basically saying, fuck my life, but you care about your money. Okay. Whatever. So, she looks kind of pissed off, and then he takes the book and he hands it to Pedro, and he kind of taps it like, keep this around. And then the beeper goes off. And when the beeper went off, I said to myself, who the fuck had a beeper in 2017? In 2017, until I remember, this is in the 80s. People had beepers back then. So the beeper goes off, and they're like, who is it? And then it's Pedro's beeper, and he says, it's your father's number. And, they all kind of look around, because her father is sick. And so they kind of look around at each other. And then, she gets their purse and she leaves. So that was the end of their stories. On to Franklin. And then I'm going to close up some things at the end that happened at the end. So we know the Franklin's part of the story ended that last episode with Leon being shot. So this episode starts and Franklin's just walking up the street, but he's kind of watching his surroundings this time. He hears a car coming up the street, and he's looking around. He's paying attention. When he walks up to his house, he looks into his neighbor's house, and his girlfriend, I think her name is Melody, it's something start with M, but the girlfriend or the girl that he likes, whose father is the cop, he looks into the window and he sees the father talking to the daughter basically about what happened, because again, Leon got shot. His mom is in the house, and she's calling people, and she's looking for Franklin. Like, have you seen him? If you see him, to come to call me, to come home. I just need to see him. So he then walks in, and she's just relieved to see that he's okay. Because again, Leon ass got shot in her goddamn backyard. So she's like, where have you been? I've been, where you been? I've been going crazy. He's like, I was at the station. So she's like, okay. So we do find out that mom was at the hospital. She went to go see Leon because, of course, she was with Leon's mom. And she's like, Leon's mom was going crazy. It's a crazy situation. And he's like, how is Leon doing? And she's like, he's doing okay. He's going to make it. And he's like, oh, he's going to make it. And he's like, yeah, he's lucky. He got shot twice, but he's going to, he's going to live. I'm like, okay, good. I thought that Leon was going to die in season 1. And I'm like, no, Leon got to make it to at least season 3. So the mom then, he's like, okay. And he's kind of walking away to go to his room. And she's like, so you're going to make me ask you? And he's like, what? And then she was like, did you have anything to do with it? He was like, no. Leon, he's always talking crazy and getting into mess. He probably just got into it with somebody. And, they, did this. I don't have nothing to do with that, Ma. No, not at all. And she was like, you scared me, Franklin. And he's like, what? And she was like, because you could stand there and look me in my face and lie so easily. You scared me. You got your best friend's blood on you. You got your best friend's blood on you, and you didn't miss a beat. Which is true. because he was lying. He was lying good too, and she realized it. And he's like, what do you want to know? And she said how your uncle came by, Uncle Jerome came by. What did you say? And she's like, he didn't have anything. He looks guilty, like he looked like he was guilty, like something was going on. I just didn't know what. But he didn't have to say anything. I want to hear from you. And he's like, you want to hear what? And she's like, how long you been selling weed for your Uncle Jerome? And then he like, about 6 months. And she's like, I can't. You've been playing me this whole time. You've been lying to my face. And he's like, no, I had to step up. I had to make more money for us. Then he said, don't act like you don't know. Don't act like you don't know about smoking weed. And she's like, who the fuck you talking to? Who do you think you talking? And she, of course, is getting pissed off. And she's yelling at him all in his face and stuff. Because, again, she's like, I'm your mama. How dare you question me about the fact that I smoke weed? Just because you sell weed don't mean just because I smoke weed don't mean you should be selling it. I guess that's what she thought. So as they're arguing about him selling weed, the cop from next door knocks on the door, and he kind of comes in. And Franklin walks away, and he goes into the kitchen. And he's asking the mom how she's doing. She's like, oh, I'm okay. He's been going to the kitchen to talk to Franklin. And Frank's like I told people down at the station, I didn't see anything, so I don't have any information. And he's like, I just need a name, Franklin. The other day I saw 2 guys sitting outside your place. All I need is a name. You give me a name, I can figure it out, and I can get them. I can help you. And Franklin was like, look, I can't help you. And then, he walks away. The next scene that we see is Franklin is outside of his girlfriend, Melody is her name, Melody's school, waiting for her. Because, of course, like, I've been, trying to hook up with you, trying to catch up with you, but I couldn't because of your dad. And she just walks up to him and she gives him a hug and she's kissing him because she missed him. And plus, he could have almost died. It's in her eyes, he could have almost died, if he would have also gotten shot like Leon. So he's like, okay, I'm going to walk you home. So, he walks her home and they're in the house. And she's like, thanks for walking me home. It was so nice and I miss you so much. And then she's walking in her room and just doing different stuff. You walk in your house, you start doing stuff, you're not paying attention to other things. He walks in her closet, gets his bag that he stashed in there, that's the drugs and the money, and he walks out her closet. Now, remember in the last episode when Franklin went and hid the drugs, we kept on saying, whose window did he jump into? He jumped into the girl's window and hid the drugs in her closet. And she hadn't found them. And now, see, I thought when she hugged him at the school that she had found them and she knew about it and she was happy to see him and was going to give it back to him. That ain't what happened. So, as she's talking, and she sees him walking out of her closet holding the bag, and then she realized, the fuck that come from? And then he was like, when, Leon got shot, I panicked, and I had to have the stuff, and I couldn't let the police catch me with it. I couldn't let them search my house and find it. And she's like, he said, I didn't have a choice. I couldn't risk the police finding it. And she's like, but you can risk my ass and come hide up in my house and get me caught up? And she's like, he's like, no, I miss you, I care about you. And she's like, you can't see shit besides what's in that goddamn gone bag, get out, leave. And because she's pissed off, she's like, you hid drugs in my house. I'd be pissed off too. We're not even a real fucking couple. And you had shit in my goddamn house. Gone, Franklin. Bye, Franklin, is what I would have said. That's how I would have handled it. And he kind of didn't fight her on it. He just went ahead and left. Because in a way, I think he knows that she's telling the truth. So, next we see Franklin's mom, whose name is Sissy. I'm learning more names now, people. Yay! So, yeah, Franklin's mom, Sissy, is looking for Franklin, and she goes to her brother Jerome's house, Uncle Jerome. And when she gets there, Auntie Louie is there. And she's like, so when Sissy walks in, Louie says, Jerome ain't here. And she's like, I'm not looking for Jerome, I'm looking for Franklin. She's like, oh, Franklin ain't here either. And the mama started like talking crazy or something. I forgot what she was saying. And then she was like, look, Jerome isn't here. Franklin isn't here. It's only me. That kind of calmed Sissy down, and then Sissy had a seat. And she's like, okay, let me get you something to drink. Let me get you some coffee. Sissy then goes on to say, I knew I should have never let Franklin leave college. I knew, I should have had him stay there. And then Louis was like, well, no, you was really happy to have him back, so it's okay. And then Sissy say, nah, Jerome was happy to have him back to be out here selling weed. And Louis like, don't be judging my man. You know, Jerome ain't the one pushing Franklin to do this. Franklin is the one pushing him to do it. Jerome was trying to keep him away from it, but Franklin is just persistent. And she's like, you know, he's been trying to keep Franklin straight. And Sissy then say, oh, so I shouldn't blame Franklin. I shouldn't blame Jerome. I guess I should blame you. And she like, bitch, what? Bitch, what? I was the same thing. She like, yeah. No, Louis said you can blame whoever you want, but you need to be blaming yourself. You know, he see you kissing up that punk ass slumlord, and you doing all the dirt for him. You know what you think he gonna do? He gonna try to step up and make more money. Man, sister's like, look, I earn my own money. You know, every penny I get is to take care of me and my son and take care of him, put clothes on his back and food on the table. You know, at least I ain't like you. You out here doing, petty schemes with your man and making money on your back. I'm like, did you just call Louis a prostitute? What? So they kind of going back and forth. And she's like, I'm not going to let you drag my son into the gutter your stink ass climbed up out of. I'm like, damn, she climbed out of a gutter? With her stank ass? I'm like, okay, sissy, go ahead. Her and Louis, going back and forth. So, Louis like, you know what? Get out of my motherfucking house, sedity ass bitch. You mad at Franklin lying, but you lying about yourself. That's what you're really mad about. So, luckily they didn't come to no blows. It was just a lot of words going back and forth. And it do seem like Sissy trying to blame everyone for Franklin's decisions, not realizing Franklin wants to do this. This is really all Franklin's doing. No one is making him do anything. But she don't know that yet. So next we see Franklin finally go to see Leon, who's home from the hospital. And, he bought Leon some new shoes. Because remember, that was what they were arguing about last time. And he gave him the shoes, so, here go your hazard pay. And they kind of laugh it off or whatever. And then they discuss getting payback. And Leon, of course, is on the mend, so he can't do much. But he's like, if I have to get up and, go and do some things, I'll do that. And Franklin like, you can't even walk around, so no, I'm working on it. So Leon like, Franklin was saying how they're going to have to try to catch Ray Ray and Lenny together because they're always together. And Leon will say, yeah, we need to catch them in the car and just do it that way, 2 for the price of 1. But we have to catch them together. And Frank's like, well, yeah, they always together. And he was like, they not. When Lenny got me, he didn't have Ray Ray with him, so they not always together. And he was like, really? He like, yeah, nigga, I was there. He was by himself. Ray Ray wasn't with him. So, Leon then tells Franklin, but we have to get payback. At this point, it's not even about getting payback. It's more about our rep. We can't keep letting niggas rob us. My leg was itching. We can't keep letting niggas off doing shit. We have to let niggas know we official. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, people gonna keep trying us, which is true. When Franklin got robbed the first time, and the fact that he had to call Crawvell, the ass raper, to help him, that was his first mistake. He should have handled it on his own with his own crew, but he didn't. So he didn't handle that situation correctly. So people still kind of, feel like they can fuck with them. That's the reason why Lenny trying to get back at them. That's why Leon is saying we need to put the fear of God in these people, knowing they can't fuck with us. So after we do whatever we do to them, won't nobody else come trying us. So yeah, they have that conversation. Next we see Uncle Jerome, and he back at the house, and he hyper as hell. I'm like, damn, is Uncle Jerome high? And he lives, he got a bag, and so I'm like, maybe he got some food. Is he hungry? Is it a beer? I mean, what is it? And he walks in the room, and he empties out like a brown paper bag, and it's full of money from on the crack he's been selling today. And she's like, oh my God, that's just from one day. That's just from today. And he was like, it's crazy. It's crazy. They eating it up. He like, I even changed the price. I made them dime bags instead of nickel bags. People still coming back and getting it regardless. And then he like, it's just crazy. So he kind of looked at the money, and she's like, this is going to be huge. And he's like, is that a bad thing? And she was like, no, no. It's going to be huge. And then, I mean, people know when crack hit, it hit. And people didn't even understand the effect it would have on people. So it's kind of cool to see how excited these people are, not knowing the devastation it's going to cause eventually to people. So, yeah. The next thing we see is Franklin goes to meet with Claudia. And I'm like, is he going to Claudia to give her crack? I don't think Claudia wants to crack to her Christmas. But no, he actually is going to Claudia because he wants Claudia to schedule a sit down with him and Ray Ray. Because he knows Claudia knows Ray Ray and she can do that or whatever. And she like, if somebody want to kill you, it's not a wise decision to meet with that person. And he's like, well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stop that whole thing. I'm trying to fix it. And she like, you trying to get me to be the United Nations. Because you want me to create peace between y'all. And I don't know if I can do that. And she's like, but you know what? I need something more personal for me to do this. So I'm like, does she want to fuck Franklin? That's what I thought she was talking about. So, yeah. Next scene that we see is Franklin is talking to his Aunt Louie. And she's like, I see why you waited for your Uncle Jerome to leave. You basically came here to tell me that you need me to fuck this crazy bitch. Meaning, Claudia didn't want to fuck Franklin. Claudia want to fuck Auntie Louie. And so she like, did she tell you about us from back in the day? And he was like, no, but I came to you just because, I felt like I didn't have a choice. And she's like, yeah, so basically you want me to fuck her. And he's like, no, I ain't like that, but I just wanted to bring you the information to see what we can do about it. And she's like, well, look, what's going to happen with it? And he's like, well, we get revenge, you know what I'm saying? And she's like, no, I know you're going to handle that. I'm saying, if I do this for you, what do I get out the deal? And he's like, well, shoot, how much you want? And she's like, it ain't even about money at this point. And he's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, if I do this, if I go through with this, I want her club. You got to get me her club. And he like, what? And he laughing, and she not laughing. She looking dead ass, and she was like, I want the club. And then she walked away. And he looking like, well, damn, I got a guy, and I got to get her a club. So it's that whole situation. Next we see Ray Ray and Franklin actually meeting up to talk. And, they met at like a diner, in the open area. So there was other people in there, so they couldn't kill each other. And Ray Ray like, what you want to meet for? We ain't going to have no truce. And, he like, I don't want no truce. And he like, look, what you expect to happen? Y'all broke up my man crib, beat him up, fucked up his crib. What did you expect? And Franklin like, you see this scar? Y'all beat me down. I got the beat down first, and I ain't even had nothing to do with it. And he was like, and then plus, y'all shot at my man's. We didn't even beat up Lenny, which is true. Lenny got ass raped and beat up by Carvel, who's dead. And I was like, I wonder if Franklin gonna say that he also tell you that he got ass raped, but he didn't say that part. So he like, look, my neighbor was a cop, and he looking for some information. He even came to me and said that he saw two guys outside my house. All he needed is a name. And at first, I was like, and he looked shook, like, damn, the cops saw my face for one, so I could be tied to the shooting even if I wasn't there. He's like, what, you snitching now? You a snitch out in these streets? And he's like, nah, I ain't no snitch, and it ain't no truce. We gonna talk business. He's like, what? He's like, ain't that what it's all about? Money and business, that's what we gonna talk about. And, that's their ending scene, technically. So the end of the episode, though, is like shots of just different things that's going on. So, it was in the ending scene, it was Teddy, who was dealing with the fact that this girl now knows who Alejandro is. And he's sitting in the bed contemplating what he can do. But he's also looking at his son's drawing, thinking, how far can I go when I told my baby mama I'm going to get out of this life? And if I go further, I can't be a father figure because I'm going to have to do some crazy shit. So that's Teddy's thing. We see Sissy, Franklin's mom, and she's looking at herself in the mirror, and she's getting herself all done up for this to go do work for this white man, for the slumlord. And she's thinking, well, damn, am I out here really bobbing and weaving and chucking and jiving for this white man? And is this a reason why my son out here selling drugs so that I don't have to do this? We see Louie, who's at Claudia's club, and then they escort her to a room, and then she goes into a closed door with Claudia. I'm guessing they finna have sex. We see Gustavo and Stumper, who are walking down the stairs of a basement, and then they open up a chest, and it's full of guns, because why? They finna go to war with Lucia's people. We see Lucia in the room, her father's room. Her uncle Ramiro is there as well, and he's putting a blanket over her father's face because the father has passed away. And she's looking back at her father, who's now dead, and she's stuck with her sadistic ass crazy uncle. And she walks out because her father is dead now, so she has to create her own destiny. And then lastly, we have Ray Ray walking out of the restaurant, and he isn't beaten up. You know, he had a conversation with Franklin. They discussed business, and they show Ray Ray walking away, and Franklin is still sitting in the diner in the seat. He's just looking out, and I'm like, damn. And that's how the episode went off. So, love the episode. Next week is the season finale. The show has been renewed for season 2, so I will be reviewing the next season as well. I hope it's still really, really good. I do hope the season finale is maybe a little bit longer. I wonder what's going to happen, because there's so much stuff to kind of tie up into a cute little bow. Well, not even tie up into a cute little bow, but like, is they going to show the war between, from Gustavo and Stumper and them? Are they going to show Franklin get revenge on Lenny? Are they going to show, I wanted to show things and not leave too many things unanswered to where we have to wait for season 2. Leave like 1 or 2 things that we have to wait for season 2 for, but not like, don't leave us on full cliffhangers for everything. Also, why Teddy hearing shit in his head? Like, what's going on with Teddy? How much do Lucia know of what Gustavo's planning with Stumper? Did Gustavo tell Stumper that Lucia's also in on it so that they won't kill her? That's the kind of stuff I was wondering. So that is my review for and I'm so tired, for Snowfall season 1 episode 9, Story of a Scar. I'll be here next time. Of course, you can also check out all my other videos. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Until next time, people.